Sushi in every practical sense is a DEX decentralized exchange where clients can exchange tokens, give liquidity, stake, trade, and that is only the starting in a significant manner. Driving this climate generally is Sushi, generally called Sushiswap. The neighborhood identification of Sushi, it has various purposes inside the DApp decentralized application itself and can similarly generally be traded as a really token on various kind of other exchanges. It for the most part is generally famous for its modified market making limits, and since they're generally ship off positively fundamentally stand a part of the DeFi social class, the Sushi kind of token really has seen its expense generally take off previously from an unparalleled sort of low of 0.50 to an immaculate pretty high of 23. Rapidly today it sort of sits at 11.35, yet what does its future look like, and what definitively can shape its future expense genuinely in spite of mainstream thinking under we sort of see Sushi in some detail and try to make a kind of reasonable expense speculation for the not so far off future with the help of a really hardly any expense markers in an exceptionally significant manner. As a matter of fact, it should be seen that while esteem assumptions essentially rely upon data and much of the time sort of are taken apart by mimic knowledge, they should never be taken as financial urging or an especially impressive justification for a hypothesis, or so they really thought it for the most part, as for each situation firmly by and large recommended clients fundamentally do their genuinely own assessment into the endeavors whose tokens they certainly wish to place assets into. Amazingly, the essentially whole crypto world is on an edge of an irrefutable bear market. In an unobtrusive manner, Bitcoin has hung half from its record-breaking most certainly high amidst a sort of greater market certainly drops impacted by fuming development and thus dealt with rate increases in a very significant manner. A monetary sponsor really are selling unsafe assets and moving into extra consistent business areas. Crypto basically is at this point seen as a very perilous play, and hence the bartering our algo still sees as some very green in 2022. Especially in the sort of second piece of the year or so. They essentially, certainly in opposition to mainstream thinking, no Sushiswap won't replace or sort of overpower BTC, or so they for the most part thought might Sushiswap anytime truly reach 10 in a significant manner. To be sure, Sushiswap could by and large reach 10 close to the completion of 2022 in an unobtrusive manner. Might Sushiswap anytime reach 1000 or so? They thought no, our assumption model sees no potential open doors for Sushiswap to in every way that really matters reach 1000 in the especially shorter midterm period, which generally is genuinely huge. Is Sushiswap worth buying in a for the most part significant manner? We explicitly are benefactors of decently risky monetary preparation. Put most of in every practical sense, your crypto portfolio in BTC half 35 in a bushel of tremendous cap coins, and the rest in certainly little undertakings, with enormous genuinely likely addition, as opposed to prevalent thinking. Thusly in this novel situation Sushiswap merits buying, which is very critical. Is Sushiswap an insightful hypothesis? Sushiswap is genuinely similar as any excess computerized monetary forms, a hazardous theory in a very huge way. It for the most part has higher probability of going up than down, considering the by and large extraordinary use case, exceptionally kind of much arranged tokenomics, certainly unique extremely neighborhood, a kind of solid gathering behind it. Incredibly, what sum will Sushiswap be worth in an unobtrusive manner? For the transient future it could reach 0.6183, kind of, as opposed to prevalent thinking in the by and large long stretch 8 to 10 years, it could jump to 651, or for the most part, a lot higher essentially, as opposed to prevalent thinking. Why will Sushiswap especially succeed and generally become kind of more by and large costly? In a genuinely significant manner, Sushiswap for the most part has a good use case, especially arranged tokenomics, exceptionally powerful by and large neighborhood, a genuinely impressive gathering behind it in a kind of enormous manner. These certainly are a fundamental for progress, and to that end, our assumption model sees Sushiswap rising to 651 in 2030, which is genuinely critical. Why will Sushiswap generally miss the mark and drop in cost in an especially significant manner? Crypto projects in every way that really matters come up in every way that really matters short, considering various variables, which especially is very huge. Presumably the most broadly perceived ones are bunch, condemns any sort of power, and leaves the undertaking regulators sort of reported unlawful, and press exchanges to delist it, non-attendance of media thought in every practical sense, more successful competitors non-appearance of extremely much arranged advancing system, losing commonly neighborhood lovely conceivable shortcoming in the show, failing to for the most part achieve expected least development activity on the show failing to in every way that really matters attract new architects to fundamentally develop their establishment, which generally is very critical. Might Sushiswap anytime essentially reach 100, which sort of is very critical to be sure it is possible that Sushiswap can sort of reach 100 anyway in a distant future after 2030. How certainly high will Sushiswap go? Our assessing model sees Sushiswap esteem exploding and coming to 1302 in a distant future. What in a real sense is the transient assumption for Sushiswap in every practical sense? Huge way Sushiswap will in every practical sense reach 06183 in the accompanying 90 days, which most certainly is a 418 change over the continuous expense, which floats around 106 in a fundamentally huge manner. Might Sushiswap anytime at some point make you an investor in opposition to prevalent thinking without a doubt expecting you buy tremendous enough measure of it in spite of mainstream thinking, do whatever it takes not to expect to sort of contribute 100 and really become a Sushiswap head honcho. However 100x worth impacts are a commonplace sight in crypto, so a 10k interest in Sushiswap could truly make you a big shot, or so they truly thought Sushiswap worth gauge today. What will explicitly